Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at the newest wave of Predator figures. This is the 25th anniversary line, and this is Jungle Extraction Dutch and Jungle Patrol Dutch. Both of these figures highly anticipated. Everybody's been waiting and waiting through 7 or so waves of Predator figures to finally get to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we finally got to him. And I just recently picked these figures up, and I got to tell you, they both look amazing. Really like some of the nice detail here on this Dutch with, you know, his the stogie in his mouth. Love the gloves. Love the machete, but I really love like the vest and the open vest and the arms on this guy. So I may actually kind of mix and match these parts. Maybe doing some head swapping, maybe adding some accessories here or there, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, I'm just like super stoked to get these. I picked these up just recently after getting the Jungle Hunter and City Hunter Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack. So I've got 2 Predators for these guys to battle. Flipping around here on the back, you can see, I think they both have the exact same back, the exact same write-up. You can see both Arnold's and the newly articulated Jungle Hunter Predator with the helmet on. They had him at the store too. The guy pulled him for me as well. A friend of mine pulled him back for me, and I was going to pick him up, but since I just got the unmasked version, which I completely prefer, I decided to pass on him. And I also think that the coloring and the paint apps on the 2-pack City Hunter, Jungle Hunter Predator look way better than the single-pack figure that we got here. Let's get these guys opened up and take a closer look. Okay, so here we have the 2 Dutch figures opened up and out of their package. And you can see that from the waist down, they're pretty much exactly the same figure, with the exception of the machete sheath being attached to this leg here and not here. The other really cool thing you can tell, and we'll look at this when we zoom in a little bit later, is that he actually has a sculpted on strap that actually goes around his leg, and that strap is not sculpted on here. It's not a matter of just not being painted, it's just simply not there, which is a really cool touch. It shows that at least they resculpted this leg or took a mold of it before they sculpted this on to actually have a differentiation between the two, which is really nice. But from the waist up, they're completely different as far as like what they're wearing and what's going on with their arms and stuff, as you can see. The head sculpts are pretty much spot on, identical, with the exception, of course, the stogie not being here. But even here, you can look, it kind of looks like they just simply didn't, stick it on. It kind of, his mouth is kind of, looks like he's still holding something in his mouth. So it's a very nice touch. The stogie is amazing. And like I said before, when all is said and done, I will probably mix and match some of these parts. I think I may take the gloves and the hands off this figure, put them on this one, and maybe switch the head so that this is my hero over here with the gloves on and the stogie in the mouth, but just without the jacket. So we'll see how that goes. But let's take a look at them individually and take a closer look. Okay, taking a closer look at the Jungle Extraction Dutch, you can see he does have on the tan jacket and brown vest from the beginning of the film when they first show up and arrive in South America. The vest is not sculpted separately. It's not a separate piece. It is sculpted onto the overall jacket piece that actually is on Dutch. It's a fairly sturdy plastic. You can see it doesn't have much give to it. And the weird thing is that the cloth underlay, I don't know if you can see that, it's a bright pink, like a fleshy pink, but not the same color as his skin tone. So that's kind of weird. So if the jacket rides high on you, you just want to make sure you keep that pulled down because it looks kind of funky underneath it. But that head sculpt, and we will take a closer look at it, it is insane. That is a 7-inch Arnold Schwarzenegger if I ever saw one. The articulation is pretty cool. You have a, let's get this gun out of the way. It's just going to be falling down for the rest of the review. Pin socket at the shoulder, pin socket here at the elbow, or just a, just a regular joint here at the elbow. Ball jointed hands. You have a ball jointed head, which is really nice. You can see some of the vein work right there on the side of his neck, which is insane. God, his head sculpt is awesome. I just can't get over it. The sort of like the crotch piece here is like a rubber piece that's on over the figure, sort of like a for the lack of a better term, like sort of like a diaper. And so you kind of have to futz with it a little bit to get it to, not show this hip joint so much. But you've got a, pin socket here at the top of the thigh. You've got a single joint at the knee, no double joints here. And then you do have a rotation at the ankle, and then the ball is on a rocker. So you get a fair amount of motion out of the foot, which is really nice. Double jointed knees with this foot rocker, I think, would have give some great articulation for some crouching poses. But it is what it is. We got what we got. So all in all, if he came with like a walkie-talkie or a communication device, you got a hand for that. If he did, this would work very well for that. As it is, this is for holding the extended part of the barrel of the gun, so that works out very well. Nice gun hand on the other side, so the sculpting of his hands is really nice as well. And we'll take a closer look at the weapons in a minute, but yeah, let's zoom in and take a closer look at this face. Okay, now, I wouldn't say I'm an avid Hot Toys collector, but I do have my fair share of Hot Toys figures. And I think Hot Toys, when it comes to head sculpts, facial sculpts, they're like top notch, no doubt about it. And over the years, McFarlane has sort of declined, but NECA has sort of risen. I think that they've sort of taken that 6 to 7 inch top spot away from McFarlane Toys. But I got to tell you, outside of Hot Toys, NECA is doing some fantastic work, especially in the 6 and 7 inch scale. This is one of the best head sculpts on a 7 inch figure I think I've ever seen. I mean, that is Arnold Schwarzenegger through and through. And the fact that they're able to sort of get this really nice squint out of him, like it's hot, there's probably sweat and dirt in his eyes, and he's just not sure about what it is he's about to embark on. I mean, they have really, really captured Dutch Schaefer through and through, and the fact that he's got that stogie in his mouth is just unreal. This is a fantastic head sculpt, no doubt about it. I love the face paint. The war paint that's on him is just fantastic. And ever since NECA first did the Conan figures, I was like, man, they really get Arnold, and they know how to sculpt him. So I was sort of waiting until the Predator line got around to releasing Dutch before I really jumped into it, and I'm so glad I did. This figure is fantastic. So why don't we zoom out a little bit and take a look at some of his weapons. Okay, starting with Dutch's M16 with the grenade launcher over and under, as I believe it was once called. And of course, if I'm getting any of these weapon names wrong, please correct me in the comments. But a really nice rifle here. You can see that it's black. It's got a very nice gunmetal brush across the top to give it that very scuffed up, weathered look. Triggers look nice. It's a very sturdy plastic. It doesn't feel fragile at all, and a very soft rubber strap, which is really nice. That they even took the time to paint the buckles. So it just gives that extra added detail. Very, very nice looking weapon. He holds it nice. It slings over his shoulder nice. Great addition. Moving on to his sidearm, you can see, I'm not sure exactly what kind of pistol he used in the movie. I haven't seen it in quite a while, but to me this looks like a Desert Eagle. No barrel on the end. That's kind of weird, but very nice indeed. Looks great. Got the black and silver going on. Very nice touch. Moving on to his hunting knife, you can see not a lot of detail, but not a lot of details needed. It is what it is. It's a hunting knife, but I love the black handle. It looks like it'd be made of a very soft rubber, but great looking knife. But as Crocodile Dundee said, that's not a knife. This is a knife, and he would be correct. This is my favorite weapon that comes with Dutch, and that is his machete that fits down on his boot sheath. So this thing is fantastic. It looks great, very screen accurate from what I can remember, and very nice handle. So yeah, let's take a look at some of these weapons in his hand and look at some poses for Dutch. Okay, so as you can see, some quite a nice posability on the Jungle Extraction Dutch. And, you know, we're going to be going through the same motions on this guy. You know, it's basically the exact same figure with some slight molding differences in the arms and chest. I even think the head sculpt's exactly the same, just minus the stogie. You know, we're not going to have to go back over accessories. He comes with everything the Jungle Extraction does, except for the huge machete. That, of course, is sadly missing in this release. I honestly think had this figure come with the machete and had the sheath on his leg, I may not have purchased the first figure. I don't think the cigar alone would have been enough for me to pick that figure up. So other than that, they're almost exactly the same. You can see this one does have a green camo tank underneath, whereas the other one had a very weird, like, pinkish colored flesh tone kind of thing going on underneath the jacket. This vest is connected here in the front, but it is molded separately. It is a separate piece, you can see, but it is connected in the front. And I don't think you can take those two apart. I don't believe so. I think it's molded that way. But of course, he does come with the bare arms and hands. The watch is still there, so that's really neat. And like I said before, you'll notice we'll see this in more detail later, but the strap that was actually molded around the leg for the sheath is actually missing. So that's a new leg piece, or at least this piece was molded before they, you know, sculpted the strap on and then cast another mold after they carved had tooled it on. So I think that's a really, really, really nice touch. But I think Arnold's his arms are the guns are all accounted for. They're very adequate and look nice. And again, that head sculpt is just simply amazing. In this scale, I can't believe the amount of detail they got into that head sculpt. It looks quite nice. So since we don't have to cover accessories and we don't really have to cover articulation because everything's pretty much the same, why don't we just take a quick look at that amazing head sculpt again and then get into a couple of poses. Okay, as we zoom in here, you can see just all the amount of detail they were able to get into this head sculpt. It is quite nice. I'm typically not a fan of NECA's new method of using this sort of translucent plastic to sort of get these sort of realistic flesh tones in their figures. Wasn't a huge fan of it on their Rocky figures. And but I got to tell you, I think maybe it's the face paint they have going on here. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's actually working to their benefit this time around. The hair is painted nicely. I think that translucent plastic does allow for painted areas like the hair to not look translucent. And the face paint just looks nice. And even because of the translucent plastic that they use, it actually gives off a nice little sheen, so it actually looks like he's kind of sweaty. You can see that. It looks really, really nice. And, of course, the face paint just looks great. So, let me see if, without having to reset up the camera, if I can bring in the other Dutch figure into frame and see if we can get a nice comparison of the two head sculpts, sort of side by side. And the guns are getting in the way. But as you can see, nice squint to the eye here on this one. Not so much on this one. I mean, I think it's the exact same head sculpt, but maybe there's just a little different painting apps around the eye to sort of give it that more squinty look. And of course, the stogie's gone. But man, what a fantastic head sculpt. I mean, I just can't say enough about NECA's ability to get this amount of detail out of such a small figure. It's really, really uncanny. Looks great. So why don't we check out Jungle Patrol Dutch in a couple of poses and see how he stacks up. Okay, so as you can see, tried to shake up the poses, give you a little something different with Jungle Patrol Dutch than I did with Jungle Extraction Dutch. They really need more different names. But anyway, so basically these are two fantastic figures. Do I think you need both figures? Probably not, especially when the next wave of figures is actually going to give us another version of this Dutch, just without the camo tank top underneath. That really seems like an unnecessary figure. But, that's just another Arnold figure, and who can't have enough Arnold figures, right? We're all waiting for the Wave 8 or Wave 9. I don't remember which one it's in. The mud-covered Final Battle Dutch. I think everybody's really waiting for that one. For me, if it wasn't for the machete and the stogie, I think I could just go with this guy here. If you're going to drop your money and are not a completist, I think this is the more fun Dutch figure of the two for me and my money. But without having both of them, I couldn't do this. Okay, so this is how Dutch is going to live on my shelf. Quick little full leg swap here, hand swap, head swap. Got the stogie in there, got the gloves on, even got the leg with the sheath. This is how this guy's going to live on my shelf. This Dutch, I don't know. He doesn't have a stogie now, doesn't have a sheath on his leg, and his hands are just, they don't have gloves on them. That guy may wind up on eBay. So if you see a Dutch on eBay, looks like he's missing a bunch of mix and match parts, doesn't have everything he came with, that's probably my guy, because this is really the only Dutch that I want or need. So, of course, until the battle damage comes out. So, we hope you guys enjoyed the video, because we certainly had a lot of fun making it. So, as always, if you dug it, please like, comment, or subscribe. Be sure to join the conversation over at facebook.com/ungrownups. And be sure to check out our podcast, which is new every 2 weeks. You can stream that right directly from our website, ungrownups.com, or you can download it from iTunes. Just search for Ungrownups Podcast. And until next time, peace.